The new Nano banana image generation model absolutely blew up all over the internet recently. You can do things like copy your competitors' ads, create AI influencers holding your physical products, generate engaging content for social media, and so much more. But here's the kicker. Most people are just using Google Gemini in the Gemini app to generate these images. I'm going to show you a much better way to do this where you're tapping into the Google API and actually able to do this much more cost effectively at scale. I just put together a Google Sheet template that connects directly to the Gemini API that lets you create hundreds of images at a time using the Google Nano Banana model. But why use a Google Sheet? A Google Sheet template allows you to take a proven prompt and then iterate on it hundreds of times. Have a product catalog that you want to swap out backgrounds with, load up all the images into Google Sheets, push a button, and watch the magic happen. The Google Sheet also connects with your own Google Drive folders, which makes staying organized extremely simple. In the video, I'm going to show you how to set this up for yourself and give you the exact template needed to get started. You can find all the documentation in the link below, and consider popping into the School community to get additional technical support as well as see what tools I'm cooking up next. All right, without further ado, here's how you get started. Hey everybody, I'm recording a quick tutorial here for the new Nano Banana Google Sheet image generator template I dropped into the School today. Very similar to the Airtable template that I shared last week, but this one lives in Google Sheets. Everything about it is pretty much the same. Some slight nuances that I'll go over super quick for you. So the first thing that is needed in order for this to work is this API keys table. You have to grab the Gemini and Image BB API keys. There's a separate video in the course that I'll share that will show you how to get those. It's the same process we used for the Airtable setup. So if you've already done that setup, you can even just grab those same API keys and throw them in the Google Sheet and this will work. But yeah, check out that video. It'll show you how to grab these API keys. If you go to aistudio.google.com, this kind of box should pop up where it prompts you to get an API key. So if you click on that, it'll take you to API keys in Google Studio. And you can see that I already have one here. You want to make sure you're logged in whatever account that you're going to be using and setting up billing for. So right now I'm set up. I'm logged in under a personal account, but I have my Cruise Media account as well. But basically all you do is you're going to create an API key. So you click the Create API Key button, and then it'll ask you to select a project from Google Cloud Projects to like connect this to. I'm pretty sure it'll automatically create a project for you, but if not, then you might need to go to like the console.cloud.com. So I'm logged into my account right now. You can see I've spent like $2.25 generating images. I've probably generated maybe like 100 images for that amount. So not overly expensive, but it is something that you want to, keep tabs on for sure. So here at the top with Google Cloud, there's this like project picker. If you click on that, you can click on new project, or you can like have your existing projects here that you can select. But basically you just want to link up this API key to a project. And then the next piece is you just have to set up a billing profile with it. So with here, right now you can see it's set up under the free plan, which just basically means like you won't be able to use it with the Airtable. So you need to set up billing. And then, this will prompt you to set up a billing account, and then you'll connect that billing account to this project. So once you've got your API key and your billing set up, simply just go back to the Nano Banana Airtable, paste in the API key here where it says Gemini, throw it in the API key next to that. And then the next part is we're going to go to Image BB. So if you go to api.imgbb.com, it'll bring you to this API key section where you can add an API key, create an API key, and then all you have to do is copy this key out of here and paste it into the corresponding Image BB API key section here. When you go to imagebb.com. If this doesn't show up, you might just have to create a free account. So just whatever prompt shows up for you to create an account, and then come back to this URL, create an API key, and it should work for you. So once you've got your API keys set up, it's probably the most complicated part of this whole setup. Everything else is pretty straightforward. So then, kind of just going through and explaining how this template works. In column A, we have a manual prompt. So here you can write in anything that you would want to create an image with. So here I'm saying create an image of a grungy emo vibe influencer in her 20s wearing a shirt and holding a can. So I'm saying wearing the shirt, holding the can, referencing my images here. So we've got a shirt and a can, and then it creates an image down here of the influencer, the grungy emo influencer wearing the shirt and holding the can. So whatever you write in the manual prompt section is going to be the default. So it'll override anything that you select in the prompt section here. So this prompt section, this is just a basically a lookup field. So this is referencing the prompt library table right here. This is just a simple library that you can use for storing all of your prompts. So if you already have a library of prompts that you've used in the past, or maybe you've like used them in the spreadsheet and you want to like store them again later to reuse, that's what this is intended for. There's a lot of like really cool prompts floating around. So at some point I might make an update to the template, throwing in a bunch of like really great image prompts here with like maybe the name of the prompt, what the prompt is, and then possibly like example of an output here. So yeah, if you come here and you select like combine images, so you see this says combine images, it'll automatically fill with the combine images prompt from the prompt library. So combine the reference images, it's a very simple prompt, but that's what shows up there. The aspect ratio, I put that in here, it just includes it in the final prompt, but Nano Banana doesn't seem to actually take this into account, so probably don't even need it, but play around with it, see if you can get it to work. The Google Drive folder ID, this is something very specific to this template and something that I actually think is super cool. So here you can grab a Google Drive folder ID from your Google Drive account, and then this will be where all of the images generated for this specific row go. So you could have a different folder ID for every single image if you wanted to, or you could just have the same for all of them like I do here. I can click on this, it'll take me to the folder which shows all of my images that I've generated with the tool so far. To get your Google Drive folder ID, it just exists in the URL. So if you go up to Google Drive here, you'll see folders / and then this right here, that's your Google Drive folder ID. So if you want to create a new folder for a batch of images, all you have to do is in Google Drive, create a new folder, grab this Google Drive folder ID, and then you can paste it in here. I did that for this one. So then we've got a couple reference images here where we got reference image 1, 2, and 3. The API allows us to send up to 3 reference images in a single API call. So all you have to do here is either include a URL. So this is the URL for the image that I just grabbed off of Google. It needs to be the URL of like where the image is actually stored if you're grabbing it from Google or like a website. So just make sure you I'll show you a quick example. So I'll just type in banana shirt. I'll go to images, and then I can click on this. If you right click on an image, you want to grab the copy image address. That's what you want, not the copy link address, because that'll take you to this Google search listing. We want the actual source of the image address. So that's what you'll copy. throw it in here. Again, that's if you're grabbing images randomly from online. This also supports Google Drive images that are in your Google Drive. So you can go to your Google Drive, grab an image, copy that share URL or that public URL, throw that in here as well, and it'll work great. These like image previews, these are simple formulas that just like take the URL and like generates a preview of it for you. Totally optional. You can hide these if you don't want to see them, but I find them to be helpful. So like image preview 3, that's empty because we don't have anything in the reference image for 3. The final prompt here, this is a simple like if statement formula. It says like if there's anything in the manual prompt, use that. Otherwise, use what's in this prompt. And then we've got our output image right here. So when you run this thing, it only will process rows where there is no output image. So if I wanted to rerun this row, I would need to delete the output image URL that is here, and then go to this Nano Banana button up here and click Generate Images. The script is going to run. It's going to ask you to authorize the script. It's just something that Google does whenever there's a script loaded into anything. You just have to select all that, click Continue. Now this script is authorized to run, and then you'll just have to click Run again because now it's actually authorized to run. So yeah, we got the empty API key for Gemini error here because I don't have an API key. But basically, if I did, this would run, it would generate an output image, it would drop it in here, but nowhere else that had a URL. So that's that. The Google Drive file URL, this is something that gets overridden whenever it generates an image. Basically what the script is doing in the background is taking all your elements, your prompts, creating the image. It's temporarily hosting it into a service called image BB, which is why you need that API key. Because the code that we get back from Google is formatted in a way that Google Sheets can't like store. So we have to convert it into an image and have it hosted somewhere. And then we take that hosted image and copy it into Google Drive, into that folder. So this is the Google Drive file ID. And then we just have like an image preview right here. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty, yeah. Basically, you write a prompt, you put in up to 3 image references, you make sure your output image is empty, and then you click Generate Images, and it will generate the images for you. If you wanted to, so like some fun use cases here, right, is like you can write a prompt for a specific use case. So here I've got one for like the man leaning against the car from reference image 1. So this is what I'm referencing here. This image of a guy leaning against a car. This is just a random like car dealership ad that I found. And then the prompt I'm saying basically have that guy leaning against the new car that's in reference image 2. And also have him holding like a liquid death can. And then this is the output image here. So that's like an example of something that you can do with this. You could write a prompt, kind of refine it until you're happy with the result consistently. And then you can just like copy the row down as many times as you want, replace reference image 2 with like all the cars that you would want to create this ad for, and then run the script, and then you'd have all those images created. Similar thing here that I did. We've got kind of a reference ad here. I don't know why I chose cars. I think because I was talking to somebody about running some car ads or helping them streamline their creative for car ads. But anyway, and then you write your prompt, have it change what you want to change, and then this is like an example output. Something I've noticed with Nano Banana is like the dimensions of the images it spits out are they default to like one of the reference images, and it seems to kind of choose it randomly. So like the output of that image was the same dimension as this Cybertruck. You can see it's kind of like a wide angle like landscape image instead of this original one. So play around with prompting. Maybe there's a way to include in the prompt, like keep aspect ratio from image 1 to like try and force it. But that's just something I've noticed so far while playing around with this thing. Trying to think if there's anything else. Some other ideas I've had of ways to improve this thing. I think it could be kind of cool to integrate more image generators. So like Flux, ChatGPT 01, a handful of other, like maybe Midjourney if they have an API. And basically have the spreadsheet here, but like you'd have different scripts that you could click down and run depending on what image generation model you wanted to use. And then essentially all you would need is just all your API keys in here. So you'd have your Gemini API key, your Flux API key, your OpenAI API key, and that would allow all these scripts to run. There's also like services like FreePic that are kind of like a image generator aggregator, if you will. They have public APIs, so like I could integrate something like that into this tool as well, where we could have one API key that you put in and then be able to do a bunch of different things. So lots of cool stuff that's possible with this, similar to the Airtable one that I'm sure we'll add into this template. Just let me know kind of like if that's interesting to you in the comments, and that'll help me prioritize kind of like what to add to this, if anything. But yeah, thanks for checking it out. Let me know if you have any questions about anything in the thread attached to the course, and I'll see you around.